All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. We're going to run through a weekly outlook for the week coming up from October 20 to the 24th, 2025. We're going to run through basically the levels I have marked out on my charts, and then we're going to go through the news really quick before we get into it. If you guys want to join the free Discord where I post pre-market analysis, trade recaps, some live trading, voice chat, all that stuff coming soon. We just ran one the other day, so we're going to keep that going as often as possible. So if you guys want to join, link will be in the pinned comment, and a discount link for Alpha Futures will be in the pinned comment as well. So let's get right into this. So we're going to start with NQ, then we're going to go to ES, then we're going to look at the news. Basically, we're going to start from the higher time frames and work our way down. So starting on NQ, we obviously are about halfway through the month, and we have put in a strong wick to the downside on the monthly. And we are still pushing in monthly bullish order flow. Obviously, we've been not overextended, but we've been super extended to the upside since April, and that's continuing, as of right now. We look on the weekly. Our weekly is still in bullish order flow. We had this nice reaction off of this weekly fair value gap right here, and I talked about last week or the week before, if we continue to hold that gap, we're going to probably expect for price to come up. And if we inversed it, then we were going to look for price to come down and eventually want to flush into that weekly gap. But we wicked into it and we had a nice rejection out. So the weekly overall is still maintaining bullish order flow. Now we go down to the daily. Oh, and for areas I have marked out on the weekly, I have obviously my all-time high, previous week's high, previous week's low, and then we have this weekly low. Those are going to be our main draws. And if you also want to continue to mark this weekly gap, since it still technically is there, you can also mark that as well. And then we go down to the daily. Okay, on our daily, we have this daily gap, which price has just been rejecting off of. And if you watch the weekly outlook I posted last week, I said that we wanted to see a daily gap preferably get formed for guidance. And if we were going to reject this gap, we were going to look for price to go lower. And if we flipped it, we were going to look for price to go higher. Technically, we did tap into it and reject. We tapped into it, rejected. So there was a lot of opportunity throughout this past week. But as you can see, from Monday to Friday, we've just been stuck in a range. And this is a lot more visible when you go on the 4 hour and you really see how much we've been ranging, right? So let's go over now to ES, and we're going to glance at ES really quick, even though it's pretty much the exact same story. We go and start for our monthly. Our monthly is obviously still in bullish order flow. We actually have we're actually in the bearish close, or not bearish close, but the candle has flipped bearish right now on the monthly. We look at the weekly is still in bullish order flow as well. We technically actually just slightly inversed that weekly gap, but then we ended up breaking back to the upside. So we're still maintaining overall bullish order flow on the weekly. Again, I have marked out all-time high, previous week's low, and the weekly low. And then on the daily, it's the exact same scenario. We're rejecting and respecting out of this daily gap. And I said again, if we're going to reject, we're going to look for lower. If we inverse, we're going to look for higher. And that's pretty much the same thing again. We did have opportunity there throughout the week. But again, if you look on the 4 hour, the daily, we've just been in a crazy sideways range. And that's not really visible unless you actually back out to the higher time frames and you look at that. Because when you're trading intraday, you're really not noticing, how much we've been ranging in the higher time frame. So pretty much the plan going forward is going to stay the exact same. Again, we just have to recognize that we are in higher time frame bullish order flow, but we're continuing to reject out of this daily fair value gap. And obviously news and stuff like that has been postponed and stuff like that, and we're pretty much anticipating a lot more volatility to really want to make a strong move and strong decision of where the market wants to go. So for this week coming forward, I'm just going to continue to watch how price respects off this daily fair value gap. Okay, if we continue to reject it and we obviously get higher time frame confirmation for shorts, I'm going to be looking for price to come down. And obviously my higher time frame sell side target, the first one is going to be this previous week's low right here. And if we inverse this gap, we're going to look for a flip, a retest, and a push to all-time high, right? That would be our bullish scenario. Our first targets are going to obviously be this previous week's high and this previous week's low. So one thing to watch out for is potentially we do sweep out this previous week's high and then get a sell-off. So we need to watch out for that, because that could be a potential scenario. We sweep the previous week's high. We don't want to get to all-time high yet, and we get a push down. So definitely watching that previous week's high. Scenario number 2, obviously we come up, we inverse this daily gap, we get a retest, and then we push into price discovery. That would be our bullish scenario. And then our other scenario for bearish would be we continue to reject, we get confirmation for shorts, and we seek out the previous week's low. Okay, my higher time frame bias is not going to flip bearish unless we end up trading below the previous week's low and this weekly low. Okay, if we on the higher time frame come down, we start trading below and we're showing confirmation that we want to go lower, only then will I continue to assume that we're going to want to come down and take out higher time frame sell side draws. But for now, we're still maintaining bullish order flow. We're just ranging, and we're kind of waiting for this news to happen and everything to kind of get sorted out with the government in order for us to find true direction in the market. So again, pretty quick outlook this week, guys. Not too many areas marked out. We have, again, all-time high, previous week high and low, and this weekly low as our main draws and liquidity. And obviously everything's going to depend on what happens at the start of the day in the intraday. But for a higher time frame bias, we're really going to be wanting to pay attention to this daily fair value gap right here and seeing what happens out of it. Again, one scenario, if we inverse this gap, we're going to be looking probably or hopefully for price to retest and continue into price discovery, and then we'll have to reassess from there. Another scenario, we could see price come up and sweep this previous week's high, and then we get confirmations to the downside, or we just continue to reject off this daily gap and we look for confirmations. Obviously, our first sell side target on the higher time frame is going to be this previous week's low, so we're going to have to come into the market every single day and pay attention. ES is the exact same scenario, right? We have to see if we get a flip and continue to price discovery, we reject, or we go lower to the previous week's low. But those are going to be our main targets to watch out for at the start of the week: previous week's high and previous week's low. Again, super rangy. We really want to see something clear on the higher time frame because we really don't have true direction, but we are in that overall bullish order flow. I'm leaning that we continue bullish. It's obviously going to depend on day by day. It's really just going to depend, but I'm leaning bullish until on the higher time frames until we end up trading below the previous week's low. Then my bias will flip bearish on the higher time frame. So those are the areas to have watched to watch on your chart and to have marked out. Now let's get into the news day by day. If anything changes with the news, I'll update it on my TikTok. So I'll drop my TikTok in the pinned comment as well. So if you guys want to follow my TikTok, I'll post day by day updates kind of and how I'm approaching the changes in the market. So starting on Monday, we have no major news, so this will be a normal trading day. But the only thing is, since it is a no news Monday, I will be de-risking or most likely sticking to eval, but I will be on the charts trading, but just kind of preserving my main capital for the rest of the week. Tuesday, again, no news, but this will be a normal trading day as of right now unless something changes. Wednesday, no major news, we will be trading again, normal trading day. Thursday, we have existing home sales at 10. I actually like these orange folders at 10. They actually do bring in some volatility. Existing home sales, new home sales, all that stuff like that. So this will be a normal trading day as well. Nothing really to go over with that. And Friday is the main event here. So far scheduled, we have CPI, flash PMI, flash services PMI, revised consumer sentiment, new home sales, and that's tentative. So again, from my idea on this day, I'm going to be waiting for this day to come and then kind of reassessing from there. But most likely my plan is going to be waiting till 10 a.m., waiting for all this news to pass and seeing what direction it brings to the market, and then going from there and then trading after the market's kind of settled down. So that's going to be my plan for the week, guys. Monday is going to be low risk or eval. If we see anything A+, we'll take it. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be normal trading days, and Friday we will be waiting for all this news to pass, seeing what the market's looking like around 10, and then we'll make our decision from there if we're going to trade. So that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, weekly outlook. Pretty simple. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord, link will be in the pinned comment. You guys want a discount to Alpha Futures, pinned comment as well, and my TikTok for updated news will be in the pinned comment as well. So that's it for me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.